I don't even know if this is even working, to be honest. You'll find I'm very technologically illiterate. I can read, but I can't type or use a computer or a smartphone or any of that. By the way, I am, of course, M. Price. This is M. Price Can Read. And this is a special edition of M. Price Can. That was some ice falling from the outdoor. I'm outside on my porch, by the way. That was some ice falling. Yeah, very exciting video already, you can see. Yeah, where was I going with this? Oh, I'm trying something new. I'm going to try to film on my phone, see if that changes anything. I have like a covered porch because I live in an apartment complex thingy. So the lighting really here isn't the best, but I'm trying out settings on my phone. If they don't work, well, I'll just try to edit it out later. But who knows what I can edit on my phone. Here comes a big fun car trying to convince me of their presence in this void of reality. But anywho, this is going to be my attempt at a yearly advice video. By the way, I don't know where I'm supposed to look on these things, because if I look at me, I look really like slanty viewed, like I'm looking somewhere else. But if I look at the camera, I just feel so awkward. So I don't know. I'm just gonna look around wherever I please, I think. But I'm going to do just a yearly advice series. Who knows? Maybe not. We'll see how this one fares. If you guys want more, might be interesting to see how my viewpoints on things change throughout the years. But without any further ado, I'm not going to edit this out, by the way. More fun that way. Without any further ado, let's get into the advice. Yeah, I don't even know how to because regularly across my chest doesn't, I'm punching myself, it looks like. Whatever. I'm not used to the phone view, whatever. But I guess I just wanted to talk about patience this year, because that's just something that I feel I have developed a lot more of this year as opposed to other years. Patience and resilience, and just a way to get through, if not difficult, then for definitely frustrating times. It's not something that I, just learned this year, but I think this year is when it really got solidified, and that's what I aim to talk about with the series. And where my patience, I think, really became strengthened was through my work. I think I probably mentioned it a few times, but I'm actually a chef by profession, and I work in a kitchen. And there's a lot of people there of varying degrees of abilities and skills, and there's a lot of conflict there, and I guess oh my god, I'm not even eating fast food, I'm already getting the hiccups. Checking on my fast food videos. But there's a lot of conflict there, and I think that, at least in my mind, it breaks down to positive and negative conflict. Not necessarily what we traditionally see it, but how the conflict sort of arises. Positive conflict being sort of frustrations that arise from people trying to do good, from people meaning well and not necessarily performing the best, or not having the skill set to do the job, and they're not actively trying to sort of sabotage you, they're not being malicious about it. That's why, to me, it's positive conflict. And then there is the negative conflict, which is someone who's actively trying to, sabotage or cause some drama, you could say. And we'll start with the positive conflict. When we have, say, a chef on the line, cooking, doing their thing, well, if one of them is gone for the day, if one is sick, if one is, on vacation, we'll have fill-ins or substitutes who maybe are older, maybe are not as well versed in this sort of thing. Maybe they're like high school students. Well, actually, they'd be college students, high school students. They can't operate the fryers. But where's I going? I get distracted a lot. You'll see. Also, by the way, I hope that my smiles here are like just, you know, Cheshire cat kind of things in the darkness, because I can't even tell like if I'm visible or not. I'm that inept with my camera. God, where was I? Okay, yeah. So you'd have like basically people who just aren't the best at their job, and in a kitchen environment, it can be very stressful. It can be very fast-paced. A lot can ride on you if you are like, you know, the chef on duty, because everyone kind of turns to you if something, you know, something goes amiss, essentially. And a lot of times, other people's shortcomings sort of fall on your shoulders. And if there's one thing I learned, is that you can't snap at them. You can't, you know, shove their face in it. You can't be short with them. You can't lose your cool, because the moment that you lose your cool, you lose them. Okay? Because there are a few other people I work with who do lose their cool, who do, you know, kind of snap. And when that happens, well, then the fill-in people don't want to work for them anymore. The fill-in people don't want to cooperate anymore. And at that point, the positive conflict becomes negative conflict, because then they say, oh, we're working with, you know, X or Y chef who's a real jerk and who we don't want to deal with. And, you know, why work hard for them? Why care? Why bother? You know. Whereas I always try to maintain a level head, because that way, even if they're going slow, even if they're making mistakes, even if they're not the most ideal companion on the work line, they are at least trying their best, and they're doing their best, and, you know, they're putting their best foot forward, essentially. And at the end of the day, when all is said and done, they're gonna bear you no ill will, because they know that maybe if they even have an awareness that they're not the most efficient worker, they know that you are not mad at them, and that you do not begrudge them any ill will, and that they're willing to come back the next day and work with you, and you each sort of have this mutual agreement that, hey, with every passing day, I'm going to get better, and with each passing day, you'll want to work with me more and more again, because you know that, you know, they know that I'm not going to harp on them, and they know that they have a sort of safer environment with which to grow and to, you know, not get harassed. Because some days, you know, I won't be on like the line. I'll be, you know, prepping something or doing some other different activity, and I'll see other people, you know, do their thing. And this is by no means me trying to, like, you know, toot my own horn, because I certainly am not the best at anything. But sometimes it's just kind of like watching a car crash. You know, you can't look, but you can't look away, as you just see people like get pointlessly mad at each other, and you see it dissolve. And our leadership isn't really the best, and they never are ones to step in and try to make things better. All you can really do is people will, you know, come to you, and you can kind of ameliorate the situation by just trying to, you know, cool them down, try to level people off. If it doesn't get like, if it does get more out of hand, then that's when, of course, you know, I would stop, you know, prepping, or stop doing what I'm doing and come on the line. And, you know, that's not the point where you say, oh, you suck and you can't argue. Yeah, you don't want to, you know, get into that. What you want to do is just, you know, show up to help, be a calming presence, and just stay there until the whatever situation is resolved, whatever conflict, if there even is a conflict, has been resolved. Just stay there until everyone cools off, and until the task is done, and then you can return to your own task, and all will be well, and we will have averted another day of crisis. And that's positive intent, or positive conflict, I mean. Positive conflict. Oh my god. Was it because I drank tea before this? Can I not drink tea either? But that's positive conflict when, people are ultimately just trying their best, and even if it doesn't work out the best of most times, you just gotta get in there or stay steadfast and just make sure that, we're all on the same team, we're all in this together. Let's get through it. Now, negative conflict is a bit trickier because that's when you have a sort of, maleficence in it of, yeah, I'm actively trying to sabotage this person. God, how do I deal with that? Just squash it as soon as you can. I mean, it'll usually be like going back to, like, say, the high school or the college kids who sometimes work with us. They'll want to, like, start gossip or, pit people against each other, and that's the point where you just gotta get in, squash it, and say, hey, we don't do that here. We can't deal with that. In that instance, it's almost like you need to have patience for the positive conflict, but have no patience for the negative conflict. Once people start actively trying to, like, out of their own ill will, trying to sabotage things, you just gotta, nullify it instantly. Sometimes it can be hard to spot negative conflict because it's always easy to pit, like, the management team against the regular employees, and sometimes it appears that it's negative conflict, but you just got to realize that the managers are also, trying their best, and if you work for a pretty big company like me, then you'll realize that, well, the managers, sorry, I'm switching these, the managers have managers as well, and that as much as you have to follow what they're trying to get you to do, they have to follow what someone else is trying to get you to do. So while your management team may have something that is utterly ridiculous and try to get you to do something, well, they're kind of, their hands are tied as well. You got to realize, and just kind of center yourself, like I'm trying to do right now with this engine going behind me. We'll see how this video turns out. I mean, I hope it's fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Just center yourself and realize that if there's no one being actively hurt, if no one is being actively sabotaged of stuff, and it isn't just totally deteriorating, then it's okay, If there is something that is very negative arising from this, and it can't be justified with the idea of, say the managers are just doing what their managers are telling them, then at that point, that's when you have M. Price's permission to rebel. For instance, oh geez, well, they're never gonna know about this. I don't know. Am I allowed to? Who cares? If it ever becomes an issue of, like, say, like food safety or safety or just in general, whatnot, that's when you have to sweep in, and you got to make sure that, your divine wrath of keeping people okay needs to come in. And if someone's not being food safe, if someone's not doing things how it needs to be done, then it becomes your responsibility to make sure that it is done correctly. Or trying to be dramatic and point at you, but I can't tell where I'm actually looking. But I'm looking everywhere because I'm always watching out for food safety. And at that point, your managers and the managers above them both need to know that some things cannot be messed with, and that at that point, kind of like the negative conflict of gossiping and causing all this drama, the negative conflict that may arise or that may cause the instance of people being hurt, that has to be stopped too, and we cannot have patience for that. But otherwise, I mean, I think that is in general a rarity. And I think that all in all, people mean well. People are basically good people. And don't ever assume ill intent, Don't ever assume that someone's actively trying to, you know, destroy everything, because usually it's not. Usually it's like one or two bad apples who are, you know, like the bad kid who would spoil it for the rest of the class kind of thing. It's generally that situation where it's just one person who is upset for one reason or another, and they're bringing it into work. And I think a lot of times that arises when it's not really a work-related issue. Usually it'll be, very clearly something else going on in their life, some other shortcoming or some other obstacle that they have that, they are just projecting onto work, because usually the work environment is a lot more different than their natural environment. The work environment is almost like a separated area of your life where, okay, here's my main life, and then here's my work environment. So whatever consequences or repercussions, they won't affect each other. So if I have this thing that's going on in my personal life, well, I'm just going to bring it to my workplace, because who cares? The worker people aren't really, they're not like my friends or my family. They're my coworkers. They're different. And I think at that point, that also requires a patience of realizing that maybe this person who is causing all this conflict, maybe they're not bad, they're just frustrated. And it's important, at least I feel, to always be calm and collected, because through that, they can also maybe achieve that calmness and say, hey, if M Price is, I don't know, maybe if M Price is doing fine, then I can do fine too. Because M Price probably has some issues as well, like eating fast food and drinking caffeine. Because, everyone is ultimately just a person, and everyone's going through something just as much as the next guy. And you just gotta share that decency with your fellow person, ideally. And I know that, looking at even world events right now, nothing is ever ideal, and sometimes conflicts arise where it may even appear that both sides are the bad guys. But everyone's just hurting, And you just gotta try to help people as best you can and serve them as best you can. And then return back to your own life and relax and be calm and work on your own goals and your own achievements. I don't know, I guess I'm looking at a pile of bird poop right now. And I'm reminded of the bird poop in our lives. Yeah, there's my allegory for today. Make of it what you will. But, I've been going for like 20 minutes here. I think that's probably it for, whatever this has turned out to be. Let me know in the comment. Oh my god, I can even see here we go. Let me know in the comment section what you think of my really improv, freeform, whatever videos, if you want me to do them again. Or maybe if you just like this ramble sort of style, and maybe I'll make more rambling videos that don't have to deal with yearly price advice. Maybe you want to hear more stuff about me, though I don't know why you would. Anyway, that's it. This has been your yearly price advice from M. Price himself. Yeah. I don't even know if this microphone will pick up my finger flutters that I usually do. But as you know, Dog City never sleeps. And I don't know if this is necessarily an ASMR video, but I'm going to treat it like one. So I hope that you may sleep Now I have to awkwardly turn off my camera because, like I said, I'm not editing this video. So